Most capped player for her team, highest run getter for her country, ICC ODI Player of the Year, ICC T20I Player of the Year, Player of the Tournament Awards and World Cups, part of the ICC Team of the Decade. A look at this former White Ferns skipper's resume, and the list seems never ending. Hello and welcome to another episode of Beyond the Boundary. Today, we have the honor of hosting one of the greatest batters in the women's game, New Zealand's Suzie Bates. Hi Suzie. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us today. First of all, how are you and how does it feel to be back playing international cricket?
Yeah, thanks for talking to me, but yeah, I'm good. Excited about tomorrow and playing some one-day cricket, and yeah, it's just been so great being back in the team after a long stint away and to be on tour again, although it's slightly different to normal. We're really enjoying ourselves over here, and so far we've played some good cricket, so wanting to carry that on into the one days. But yeah, just so excited and really happy to be back in the group.
Perfect. And you recently played a milestone game, 250 games for the White Ferns. I'm going to ask you to wind back the clock a little bit. Do you remember, what do you remember of your first game for the White Ferns?
Yeah, I remember a lot of it. Obviously, it was a long time ago, but we were at Lincoln and playing against India in a series. And I remember I was actually an all-rounder at the time and picked as a bowler. So I was batting at number 9 and it rained on and off. So we were itching to get started, but it kept getting delayed. But we finally got out there and yeah, just remember the feeling of being in the field, playing international cricket and just wanting to play as long as I could. I just absolutely loved it. It was such a step up from domestic cricket. And yeah, I didn't get a bat, but I took 1 wicket. So it was just a real taste of that next level of cricket that I just loved.
Awesome. And, so through this period, do you have a favorite moment or a standout moment in your career so far?
We sort of chatted about it after that milestone game with the team, and look, I've still always wanted to win a World Cup and win a Rose Bowl against Australia, and we haven't done that in my career. So that's still something I want to tick off the checklist. But look, I think any World Cup final I've played in, I think I've had the privilege of playing in 3 have been special, and any win against Australia, to be fair, as a White Fern, whether it's 2020 over cricket, there have been some of the special moments.
And so you've had a significantly long career, and players often say that in cricket you have more bad days than you have good days. So through this period, has there ever been like a moment or a phase where you've kind of wanted to walk away from it? And if so, what pushed you to carry on, and how did you build that resilience?
Yeah, we also talked about that. I was wondering what my win percentage was out of the 250 games, and I was hoping that I'd won more than I'd lost. I think Amy Satterthwaite managed to work that out, and I had just, so that means I have had more good days. But yeah, it's a tough sport and international sport. You always have doubts at times, and sometimes it is hard, and when things aren't going your way personally or as a team, you do think how much longer you can keep playing. But I've never really thought seriously about giving up. I've had moments where I've really enjoyed a break and getting away from cricket, but I've always wanted to come back for more. And I think having a serious shoulder injury, COVID, it's made me hungrier than ever. And although I am getting on in age, I feel mentally and physically fresh. And I just know that once you retire, you're a long time retired. So until I stop enjoying it, which at this stage, I've never not enjoyed the process of training or being on tour or playing cricket. And until that stops, I'll keep playing. And as long as I get selected too.
So you mentioned that shoulder injury, and that was like the first major injury that you had that kept you out for a significant period of time. What was that period of rehab and recovery like for you, and how did you keep yourself motivated through it?
Yeah, it was. It's been a strange time. I think having COVID just before I did my shoulder and having the longest break that I'd had in my whole career off cricket almost prepared me for that stint on the sideline because I'd had a lot of downtime, worked out how I was going to keep myself busy and keep my mind occupied. So I'd sort of had a practice at sitting on the sideline through no choice of mine. And then, yeah, I think the thing that helped me the most was the fact that the World Cup had been moved already. So when I did injure my shoulder, I knew that I was a chance of coming back fit for that. And to be honest, that really helped my motivation. There was never a day where I didn't want to do it because that carrot of playing in the home World Cup's always been there. So I think the timing of when I did it, I was quite lucky, and I've been able to stay really determined and motivated. And the goal was to get back for this tour, which was 9 months after surgery. And that was a really realistic goal. So I've had lots of mini goals along the way to help me get to that home World Cup.
And through that layoff, you spent some time in the commentary box. You also, I think, coached the Otago Nuggets for a bit. Can you talk me through those experiences, and did it kind of give you a glimpse into what could possibly be in store once you hang up your boots?
Yeah, absolutely. I talked about it a lot, that I guess I sort of tried to look at all the positives, and I was almost in a privileged position of experiencing retirement before I'd retired, to know what it would be like and what I'd like to do. And I just had this moment over Christmas where I was getting a bit bored. I'd had a long winter with sitting back with coronavirus, and I knew that I just had to keep busy. And I sort of made a promise to myself that I was going to say yes to any opportunities that popped up and just throw myself into it. So two of those were the commentary with Spark over the summer, and the basketball coaching. And that was just the greatest thing, to be part of different teams and sort of have a team around me when I'm so used to being in a team sport, and met lots of new people and realized that, there is life after cricket. And I'm also now excited about that and what opportunities that holds, but also no, I'm definitely not finished.
Yeah, and you mentioned the home World Cup several times now. Looking ahead to that, the teams, and Sophie has mentioned this several times as well, that the team has been very clear that the focus for this tour is on the ODIs, and how that's leading into a home World Cup. In that context, how important is the team's performance in this series looking forward?
Yeah, there's no denying that World Cup is at the forefront of everyone's minds, and we know this is a huge series in the lead up to that. Current world champions in England, and we know we have to play well to beat them, so it's going to be a real test of where the whole group's at, and I'm excited to see where we're at. And I think the 2020 series has just shown that we're just so desperate to compete every game. And if that means we win, that's great. But we're definitely out here to compete every game with England. And I think that's going to put us in a great position leading into the World Cup, and a home one-day series against India as well, I think, coming up.
And obviously the home World Cup means there's plenty of chatter around the 2000 World Cup and New Zealand's success in that tournament. So two questions. One, what are your memories of watching that World Cup? And two, how do those memories or the feats of that team kind of inspire you and the group going ahead into 2022?
Yeah, it sort of gives me goosebumps thinking about it. And there's a group of players, old players, the over 30s club, that would have been, young girls watching that game. And I remember watching it on TV. First time I'd seen women's cricket on TV, only ever seen the Black Caps. So, wanting to be Nathan Astle, I remember growing up. And then I saw the likes of Debbie Hockley, Rebecca Rolls, Emily Drum playing on TV in a World Cup. And then they won it at home. And that was probably the moment for me that I said, I want to do that and be that. And that's the opportunity we now have to inspire other females in New Zealand and to do the same. And that is pretty special, really. It's sort of come full circle, and now I'm at the end of my career, and having that opportunity to inspire young girls is what it's all about.
And speaking of World Cups, New Zealand haven't had too much success in global tournaments in the recent past. I mean, 2010 was the last time the team reached a final. 2016 was the last time you reached the knockout stage. So do those disappointments kind of weigh heavily on you? And how do you pick yourself up after such disappointing campaigns and kind of refocus on the next task at hand?
Yeah, I think if we're completely honest, the senior players would admit that that has weighed on us in the past. We went through a period where we were always in the semis or finals at least. And then, like you say, since 2016, there's a period where we haven't made those finals. So I think it did play a part, but I know for a fact that we've talked about that and we've well and truly moved on. There's no point looking back. We've got a completely new group, completely new coaching staff. A lot of those players have had time away from the game to reflect, and we're not worried about that now. It's all about just doing what we can each day to be better. And I think that's what's exciting. This group has really moved on from past performances, and we're just now looking to the future.
And on to happier things now. You spent 15 years at the international level, 250 games, close to 8,000 runs, a bucket full of awards. Did the teenager Suzie Bates ever dream of achieving all these things? And you did mention that you still have a World Cup that you want to win, but have you ever kind of reflected on all the things that you've ticked off so far?
Firstly, no, absolutely not. I don't think teenage Suzie even thought all this was possible. And when I was playing, it was simply just playing for Otago, and then I made the White Ferns, and I just wanted to play as many games as I could. So I'm still here, which is pretty cool. Like you say, the World Cup is a massive thing that I've always wanted to tick off. But I guess at the end of the day, for me, it's just about, looking back on that career, and I know I've given everything that I had at that moment in time, and I'm going to carry on doing that until I finish. And once I don't feel like I can give that, then I'll step away. But at the moment, I'm just loving every moment, and then good things happen when you're enjoying it and just sticking to the process. So what will be is kind of my, I guess, old age now, my philosophical approach. And you can want to win all those things, but actually at the end of the day, they don't mean that much when you finish. It's just about being the best you can be and trying to create a great team around you to achieve good things together.
And on that note, how does Suzie Bates want to be remembered?
To be fair, it's as simple as being a great teammate. I think when you look back on your career, people forget the stats, people forget the runs you've scored. That's obviously the goal, and you train for that, but you just want to be remembered as a great teammate. And if I can do that, I'll be happy. And I know I've got some friends for life from cricket, and that's pretty special.
Okay, perfect. Well, thanks a lot for your time, Suzie. It was wonderful chatting with you.
No worries.
And good luck for the tour.
Thank you. Thank you. Hopefully some good cricket.